Greetings, royal family. So it is Braxton Family Values Review time. So this is episode 2 of season 7, A Stumble to the Altar. And a stumble it was. All right, so thanks for clicking on the video. Welcome back, all that good stuff, yada, yada. All right, so Trina's getting married, right? So this is the episode leading up to the actual wedding day. And yes, it was somewhat of a mess, but not that bad. These Braxton sisters, they are FOS. I did a video before asking, are the Braxtons full of bleep? And they are. They put on their best acting to force themselves to be around each other, right? All right, so the episode opens up with Miss Evelyn and the girls. Of course, Tony, she wasn't present. Tracy, she is still upset with her sisters, but she says that she's putting her feelings aside for Trina's wedding, right? Sounds like a good idea until, you get tired of putting your feelings aside and then you blow up. But Tracy says that she's just leaving things alone. That Napa Valley situation, she's leaving it alone because it's all about Trina. I respect the attempt. I respect it. So Tamar, she claims that, she didn't get an itinerary for Trina's wedding. Trina said it was sent via email and everyone got it. Miss Evelyn, she asked how the bachelorette party went. And Tamar responds saying how nasty and unsaved it was. She just sounded like a little kid telling her mommy how nasty her sisters were. Tamar, she plans a slumber party. And she says that, this is going to be a saved and holy slumber party. And anyway, Trina gets a phone call. She's having issues with her peacock wedding cake. It didn't turn out the way that she expected. So I think this was cake number 2 that didn't meet her expectations. So she's getting a little bit stressed out, and it's the day before the wedding, right? So we shift gears on to the slumber party, okay? So Tony, she actually showed up for this one. So Tony was present. All the sisters were there. Tamar, she goes on and on about the bachelorette party and how nasty it was. Tamar, she had a cross, holy water, and she was dressed in like a white gown, like she was going to baptize somebody. They laughed and they seemed like they were having a good time, right? I felt that it was forced, but they seemed like they were having a good time. Like, I want to say something. I really do like Tony's hair when it's short and clean cut. It is definitely her signature look, but it fits her so well. Like, I love that short haircut on Tony. And is it me or did this scene seem forced? Like, if you saw the episode, didn't it seem like all of their interactions with one another, it just seemed so forced? And Tony, she's just trying to push this thing along. Yay, we're sisters. We're all getting along. Everyone's getting along. Tony's the best actress in the bunch, in my opinion. Anyway, so we move on to Trina and Vaughn, right? This is their rehearsal. Again, it's the day before the wedding. So they're doing a little run through. Logan is the ring bearer, right? And he didn't show up. I'm pretty sure Tamar was responsible for getting him there, but he wasn't there. And their brother Mikey is supposed to be one of the groomsmen. So none of her sisters are in the wedding. And I think that was a great idea. It doesn't seem like any of them are offended by that, but I think that's a good idea to not have any of the sisters in her wedding. And I said this before, I don't think Vaughn plays all of that foolishness. So they decided to have an all-male bridal party. Anyway, that run through was a hot mess. I said before that I don't care for Mr. Braxton. Something in my big toe just don't feel right when it comes to him. I'll leave it at that. So I can only imagine if the sisters were a part of the wedding and they're doing the rehearsal, it would have been a mess. That scene would have been a total mess if all of her sisters were involved. So I think that was a good idea. I'm just saying. Now, the venue coordinator, he brings out the cake for Trina and Vaughn to see, and the cake is damaged. Again, this is the day before the wedding. And I don't know if it's editing, but Trina did not have a complete meltdown. And Vaughn seemed pretty, level-headed. Of course, they were frustrated, but there wasn't any temper tantrums or extraness. So, plus Trina probably had a couple of drinks, so she was calm. I don't know. I like her attitude throughout this whole thing. All right, so we shift gears and we see Toni Braxton. So she visits Trina at her hotel, and Trina is getting her dress altered. And Toni actually sees the wedding dress, and Tony's acting like she's crying and she's so emotional. So they had a cute little moment. And Trina, she reveals that, her reception and ceremony is going to be at the same place. I'm not mad at it. Tony says that, she didn't get an itinerary either. So Trina, she shows Tony a picture of her damaged cake. So, they start laughing. So they shared a good little moment in that little hotel suite. So Tony decides that she's going to take care of the cake situation for Trina. So she calls Tamar and they take on the Operation Wedding Cake, right? So at the bakery, we see Tony and Tamar. They visit the pastry chef and they let him know that they need the cake tomorrow morning, the next day, like less than 24 hours, right? For Trina's wedding. And he said that he can get them the cake and he only charged them $2,800. Tamar, of course, being extra. I'm not even giving Tamar too much. Not at all. She's like, well, Tony's the one paying for it, but she act like that was an astronomical price. You want a cake in less than 24 hours, $2,800? That's a steal to feed 200 people? Anyway, we shift gears. We move on to the engagement dinner. All the sisters were in attendance. Vaughn has children. He has sons. His handsome sons were there. Mr. Braxton and Miss Evelyn were also present. Miss Wanda had to stay home. Miss Wanda is Mr. Braxton's new wife. So Miss Wanda couldn't come to the engagement dinner because, again, of course, Miss Evelyn, they have to appease Miss Evelyn or whatever. But whatever, it is what it is, I tell you, that Miss Evelyn, she really is a piece of work. And I'm going to have some words for her. I'm going to keep it light, but I'm going to have some words for her. Anyway, it's finally wedding day. Hooray. It's finally wedding day. So Trina, she got married in St. Louis, Missouri. And the morning of the wedding, it starts to snow. So Tawanda says that, some of the wedding details were a little unorganized and she will do her best to help. And I have to say, bravo to Miss Tawanda. Bravo. She did step into action. She was a guest at the wedding. She wasn't a part of the wedding party. She's not a wedding planner. But she did step in to try to make sure that the seating was right and everything was good. The seating chart was nowhere to be found. So Tawanda, she sprung into action to ensure that, her parents are not sitting at the same table because, everything revolves around Miss Evelyn, right? And she also wanted to make sure other family members didn't sit with one another. So someone walked Miss Evelyn to the same table where her ex-husband and his now wife are sitting. Now, I bet you that production did that on purpose because Tawanda told the gentleman, walk mommy to her seat, and they realized that she was at the wrong table. So Miss Evelyn is sitting there. Miss Wanda is sitting there. Mr. Braxton, he was with the groomsmen or whatever. He wasn't at the table. They did end up moving her to her correct seat. But let me say something about Miss Evelyn Braxton. Miss Evelyn is still bitter. Say what you will. Maybe she has the right to be bitter. Who am I to tell her to get over something? I know a lot of people feel that she should move past it, but people take their time. Sometimes people just don't heal from certain things. In her confessional, right, Miss Evelyn stated that she noticed that her ex-husband's new wife, Miss Wanda, looked so sad and unhappy. And she stated that she did not ask her what was wrong because that was none of her business. Okay, true. Miss Evelyn said that she was glad that they sat her there, right? This fake preachy attitude, which makes my skin crawl when people do this foolishness, right? Miss Evelyn was like, I'm glad that they sat me there. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why, because I realized that I got the victory. I won. I'm like, these are her words now. I'm saying to myself, ma'am, you got the victory as it pertains to what? Ooh. I said I was going to keep it cute. That's my elder. But I just want to know, you got the victory as it pertains to what, Miss Evelyn? Because you thought that the lady was unhappy, so you feel vindicated? What a wicked, wicked outlook. That's a demonic and wicked outlook. So you felt that she looked unhappy, so she must be miserable with your ex-husband. Is this what you're trying to say? So you got the victory? You got revenge? Girl, she probably felt uncomfortable because she was wondering, why are you sitting there? And she was trying to keep her composure. Now, I'm not sticking up for Miss Wanda. I'm just saying, Miss Evelyn, that was very tacky, man. You're still bitter, and it shows. You could fake the funk with us, but we see right through all that, for God's sakes. Anyway, Trina, she's getting annoyed because the wedding hasn't started. She says she's a stickler for time management. She's 30 minutes behind, and she's ready. She's ready to marry her man. And Tamar pointed out, everyone's late for their wedding. Don't worry. At least you weren't 4 hours late for your wedding like Toni Braxton. What? That is so inconsiderate. Unless it was a medical emergency, why would you have your guests waiting 4 hours to see you get married? I don't know the circumstances behind that. Maybe you guys can fill me in. 4 hours? Imagine you get dressed up, you go to a wedding, and you're waiting 4 hours. Do you leave or do you wait? 4 hours? Nah, that's crazy. Anyway, so Toni, she came up with this bright idea, right? That all the sisters should hold Trina's train as she walked down the aisle, I guess, to marry her man. Now, Miss Trina, you should have followed your first mind and left your sisters out of the wedding. As Trina is walking out, they're all holding her train. Her train wasn't even that long. It wasn't even a train. It was an SUV. It wasn't even a train. There's nothing for them to hold, like all of them holding. So as they're walking out, Tracy, she ends up slipping and she bumps into a table. Oh, God. It had like a flower pot on it, and she falls. Tawanda is grabbing her and helping her up. This is as she's walking out. This is another reason why Trina, you should have just followed your first mind. You should have just been like, no, Toni, that's a great idea, but no, I'm going to sit this one out. Tony's like, oh, yeah, we should all hold the train as sisters and as sisters. Stop trying to force it, Toni. You were the same one that said on Iyanla, when your family went on Iyanla, that if you didn't know your sisters and your family, you would not be friends with them. So stop it. You don't have to force it. We understand that there's tension there. There's tension in families all the time. We get it. But stop trying to do the most. Now, another reason to me that it looked crazy is because they each had on like different color outfits, different cuts and fits, as it pertains to what they were wearing. It just didn't look clean and organized, in my opinion, right? So I could see if Toni came up with this bright idea maybe a week or two before the wedding, and they all decided to at least wear the same color scheme, maybe not necessarily the same cut dress or style, but the same color, it would have looked clean and organized. That just... Poor Tracy. I'm probably getting their names mixed all up, Trina and Tracy, but y'all know who I mean if you watch the show. But poor Tracy, she slipped and fell. As she's holding the train and Tawanda helped her, all of it looked, they could have done without that. That was a bad idea, Toni. Sorry, that was a bad idea. Yeah, Trina should have said no. So this is Trina's day, So, I mean, why did the sisters got to be, why you have to force it? Like, we know y'all don't get along. We know that there's tension. Like, just messed up the girl day. So this is a picture of all of them, what they wore. Toni, okay. This is real fashionable and cute. She had on her knee boots, her suede knee boots. She had on an oversized blazer with nothing under it, I guess. And this is cute for every occasion except a wedding, in my opinion. This is just my opinion, I think everyone else looked nice, but Toni, nah. What was this? She looked nice, but for a wedding, I guess, I don't know. Maybe I'm just old school, but that's the family photo of the Braxtons and Miss Evelyn with her victory outfit on. Child, talking about she got the victory. They're a mess. They're a mess, but entertaining. Again, this was Trina's big day. It wasn't about the sisters. It wasn't about appeasing the mother. And I know she's the mother of the bride. I get all of that. But this is Trina's day, What do you guys think about Miss Evelyn's statement saying that she saw Miss Wanda looking unhappy or looking sad, and that's when she realized that she got the victory? I thought that was such a wicked statement, like, for you to say that you're a Christian woman? What do you mean you got the victory over what? Forget about even being a Christian. You seeing someone else sad means you got the victory? That type of mentality, I don't subscribe to. Why do you even care about what Miss Wanda looks like if you have such victory and peace? You're not at peace and you're still bitter. What do you think about the sisters carrying Trina's train? For what? Why? So next week there's supposed to be some drama. I think Tracy is going to pop off because she felt disrespected. That's how they make it look. It's probably nothing. I hope that it's not Tracy popping off at the wedding. You know, I like Tracy, and they do her wrong. They do her so wrong. They've been doing her wrong since the first season. We can tell Tracy to get over it. I get that. It's time to move on. But if they're still treating her like a stepchild, you know, then what do you expect? All right, so that's all I got. I mean, congratulations. Of course, they got married. Trina and Vaughn, that is, they got married December 2019. But congratulations nonetheless. Trina's stepsons are handsome men. Okay, I saw Tony getting a little bit heated. Tony, keep your hands to yourself. You're an engaged woman, cougar. And I like Vaughn. I really, really like Vaughn. I don't get a bad vibe from him. He seems real chill. He's an older gentleman, so he's not with the foolishness, and he just rolls with the punches. And him and Trina seem to kind of balance each other out. I know Trina can get a little wild, and Vaughn seems a little bit more reserved. So I'm happy for her. I wish them a happy, long marriage. All that good stuff. So drop down in the comments. Tell me what you thought about this episode. Who was doing too much? Who wasn't doing enough? What did you think about the fashions? What did you think about the slumber party? All that good stuff. So, Royal Family, that's all I got. Ain't got no more. I will be back soon with another video. So make sure your notifications are on. And if you haven't done so already, click that subscribe button. We'd love to have you join our growing Royal Family. So I can't wait to read your comments, y'all. It's good to be back. All right, I'm signing off. And as always, until next time, folks, peace.